Okay, yan. So, good afternoon. Good, yes. Good afternoon sa ating lahat na
Sir,
nandito. Yan. Ayan. So, good afternoon and I hope that you had a fruitful day and we are looking forward na uh, mas dadami rin tayo for the next session. Pero I know and I understand that perhaps a lot of our teachers right now are nasa kanilang mga schools, ganyan. So, yan. Let's start this session for this afternoon. Ayan. So, this will be session 6. I will be uploading session 5 on Sunday along with the recording din nitong session natin ngayon. Kasi medyo matagal talagang mag-process ng ang tawag dito, recording. After the Zoom meeting, siguro inabot ako ng mga 2 hours or 2 to 3 hours siguro para lang i-load yung recording ng 4 hours na lecture. Tapos, i-upload pa. So, ayan. So, for this session, we will be doing the integrated part. Kapag sinabing integrated, ito na yung lahat ng mga napag-aralan natin from session 1 to 5. Of course, yung 5, it will be uploaded still. So it will be better if you will watch session 5 muna. If you are viewing our recording, ganyan. Session 5 which is on fisheries naman siya. Actually, ang fisheries, tinignan ko siya, more on ano siya more on objective talaga siya. Kapag sabi objective, there are a lot of technical terms that you need to study and review. And I understand then na there are also some who do not have a strong background on fisheries. Kaya ayon, I will, ano tawag dito? Ano tawag dito? Tack yung mga basic na knowledge on fisheries on that session. Ayan. So, ngayon, integrated. Una, sa crop science, we studied on session 1 about crop science. Second, we studied on crop protection. Then soil science, agri-marketing, and for the last session, the last one that I uploaded on our group and on our private group, we have animal science. So in this session, you will see a portion of each one of those. At I hope that you can identify kung alin dito yung questions from crop science, alin dito yung questions from crop protection, and so on and so forth. Actually, that is one thing that you need to know how to uh, compartmentalize kung alin yung galing sa isang session. Ganun. So, for example, itong question na to, nasa crop science ba to or nasa ano? So, it is good that you have that yes, yung different classifications, dapat alam natin yon para kapag nagsasagot na tayo on the day of our ox na like, okay, ito. Alam ko dito to. Ito dito to. So, kapag alam mo kung saan siya galing, mas madaling mag-come up sa isang sagot. And mamaya, ma makikita natin kung paano sumagot kapag sama-sama na silang lahat. Ayun. So, I hope that the past sessions in I think you're all doing well naman sa sa mga mock exams at matataas ang mga scores. Ayan. So, ayan, let's start with session 6. So, ayan. Number 1, which is the common name of Capra hircus? Ayan. So, Ma'am Elrose, if you want to answer, you can just chat dun sa ating chat box if you want to answer along with me. Yan. Pero of course, yung ano naman, yung mga nag-view sa recording, ayan. You can also answer. Ayun, yung like ko pala sinasabi every start ng session na you can have a piece of paper with you, tapos o kaya kung saan kayo nagti-take notes, tapos doon nyo ilalagay yung initial nyong answer, tapos kung ano yung tamang sagot para you can of course review yung bawat item. Ayan. So
Yes,
for
sir. Thank you.
yeah. Okay, so which is the common name lang, which is the common name for Capra hircus? A, domestic sheep, A, domestic goat, B, domestic sheep, C, domestic buck, or letter D, domestic buffalo. So the answer for this one is letter A, which is domestic goat. Ayan. So I have here yung listahan that we did in our last session. Ayan, just a quick review of the different scientific names ng ating mga farm animals. It is good na meron tayong, anong tawag dito, meron tayong idea about sa mga scientific name ng mga common animals kasi ito yung mga common. Ito yung karaniwang tinatanong sa mga licensure exams. Ayan. So first we have cattle, which is Bos taurus. Ayan. Next is carabao, bubalus bubali. So you can take note of this. Swine, we have Sus scrofa. Sheep is Ovis aris. Goat is Capra hircus. Chicken, Gallus gallus. Mallard duck, Anas platyrhynchus. Muscovy duck, Cairina moscata. Goose, Anser domesticus. Quail is Cotornix cotornix. Turkey is Meleagris gallopavo. And the rabbit, which is Oryctolagus sinuculus. Ayan. So those are the common animals na uh, common animals, common farm animals na pwedeng lumabas sa inyong licensure. All right? I'll give you another minute siguro to take note. Okay, so let's move on to the second item. Ito pala. I have ito. Kasi 'di ba, if you will notice, we have here the term domestic. So what do we mean by domestic? Yeah. So let's discuss a little bit. Kapag sinabi nating domesticated animals, ito ay yung binibreed talaga siya for agriculture or binibreed talaga siya because of animal production. Ganun. So for example, ito ang sabi dito, that have been selectively bred and genetically adapted over generations to live alongside humans. So they are genetically distinct from their wild ancestors or cousins. So in this picture, can you identify kung alin dyan ang domestic at alin dyan ang wild? Kapag sinabing wild, ito yung original, kumbaga. Ganito yung itsura nila nung pinakauna. Parang ganon. Kapag domesticated naman, ito yung binreed na sila based on the use na gusto ng mga tao sa kanila. Ayun. So, dito sa picture na to, the one na nasa left, ayun yung ating wild type. So this is the wild. Ito. Ito yung wild. Tapos ito naman yung domesticated. Ayan. So if you will notice, yung wild ay merong very defined na horns. Tapos yung domesticated is mas maliit na siya. So binibreed nila na mas maliit yung horn para kapag nasa field sila or nasa farm sila or they are enclosed sa isang kulungan is hindi nila masasaktan ng isa't isa. Ayun. So that is the reason why we are also breeding for specific traits. Ayun. So another possible things or traits na binibreed ng mga animal scientists natin ay yung mas maraming laman, yung mga ganon. Mas malalaki, mas matatangkad, ganon. So those are some of the common traits that are being used by animal breeders para mag-improve ng mga animals, ng mga farm animals. So this is not only done sa goat, as you have seen sa mga choices kanina, meron din sa sheep, ayan, sa buffalo, ayan, and even sa boar. Okay? So next, for the second item, we have which livestock is referred to as the poor man's cow? So A, sheep, B, horse, C, goat, or letter D, carabao. So the answer for this item is ayan, goat. So the goats are called as poor man's cow because they give the same benefit katulad ng cow. For example, yung milk nga nila tas yung meat, ayan. And it is also cheaper than the cow so that poor people can afford having them. Ayan. So this might be in the let kasi itong mga questions naman is kinuha ko rin sa mga ano. So yun. Poor man's cow is goat. Okay. So next, we have which is the transfer of pollen from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower in separate plants. A, self-pollination. B, cross-pollination. C, monopollination. Or letter D, dual pollination. So, the answer for this one is letter B, which is cross-pollination. So, one of the first things that we need to know here is what are these different parts. I hope that you have some background. And so I I hope that you have some background on the parts of the flower. So first we have yung pollen from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower in separate plants. So yung pollen natin, ito yung it contains the genetic material from the male flower. Kasi sa flower natin, meron ding male and female, right? That is why they are capable of reproduction. So, yung anther, ayun yung male part of the flower. Anther is the male part of the flower. So, yung pollen mo ay nandun sa anther. Whereas, yung stigma naman, this is the female part of the flower. Yan, yung stigma. Stigma. So, ang sabi dito, the transfer of pollen, kumbaga yung pollen grains natin, it will be transferred to another flower in a separate plant. So, if we will look at the question, the keyword here that you need to remember when we are talking about cross-pollination is separate plants. Another flower in separate plants. So, kaya nga siya cross kasi separate plants. Okay, so let's have this definition of each term. Actually, yung monopollination and dual pollination are just, I think they do not exist. Uh, those are just other terms, but what we really call these pollination are self-pollination tsaka cross-pollination. So first, let's talk about self-pollination. So here, the term self-pollination refers to the process of transfer of pollen grains from anthers to the stigma of a flower, but the flowers are on the same plant. So for self-pollination, from the term itself, self. So the flower is on the same plant. Another type of pollination is cross-pollination, which is the transfer of pollen grains between the flowers of different plants of the same species. So, different plants naman. So, para mas maano natin, mas makita natin siya, I have here an illustration, ayan, of self-pollination. So, this is from a website, ayan, Byju's learning app. So, this is one flower. So let's start with self-pollination. So dito, ito yung anther. Ayan. Itong mga to. Ito yung anther. So, yung mga nakabilog ng green, ayan yung anther. Tapos, yung number two, that is the stigma. So, this uh, illustration ay iisang flower lang ha. Tapos, ito naman, this is the stigma. Ngayon, yung pollen grains natin, which is yung kulay orange dyan, kapag from one anther, pumunta siya, paano siya pupunta doon? Paano siya pupunta? So, pwedeng dahil sa wind, pwedeng wind, and of course, yung ating mga pollinators. Examples of pollinators, bees, butterflies, moth, yung mga yan. So, those are pollinators. So, kapag itong pollen grains ay na-transfer dito on the same plant, that is self-pollination. Ngayon naman, paano kapag cross-pollination? So, dito naman, kapag yung pollen grains ay pupunta sa iba. So, we have the same uh, elements that can transfer the pollen grains. Pwedeng wind din, kunwari, magkakalapit yung mga flowers ng isang plant tapos hinahangin yung pollen grains papunta sa isang plant. So that could be a factor in cross-pollination. So dito, again, same. Yung one is yung pollen grain, stigma is yung number 2, tas yung anther is yung number 3. So yung pollen grains from the anther of, this is flower 1. Let's say that this is flower 1 and this is flower 2. So kapag na-transfer yung pollen grains niya to another flower, ayan, so that is called cross-pollination. Have you ever seen yung gumamela? For example, itry nyo magtanim ng gumamela na lapit-lapit. Okay, sige. Gumamela na kulay red. Tapos, siguro in the same backyard, or in the same yard, or in the same location, itry nyo ring magtanim ng gumamela na kulay white. And as time goes by, perhaps months or years, magkakaroon na dyan, or merong mga tutubo dyan na gumamela na kulay pink. Ayun. So it's because there is cross-pollination happening. And kapag yung mga uh, anther natin, kung yung mga pollen grains natin ay napupunta ng mga butterflies o kaya ng mga ng wind papunta dun sa stigma ng isang flower pa. So magkakaroon doon ng cross-pollination. parang nagkakaroon ng crossbreeding. So, ito yung parang crossbreeding sa aspeto naman ng halaman. Kasi 'di ba, we have crossbreeding in animal science. So, ito na. Ito na yung mga integration natin. We have cross breeding in animal science and even in humans. We are doing crosses. So same true in plants, meron ding ganon. And cross-pollination is one of the things that one of the processes that happens sa plants. Ayun. So actually kami nung undergrad, nag-cross-pollinate kami ng mung bean. Yung mung bean is naturally a self-pollinating crop. At kung mung bean yung munggo, kung titignan niyo yung flower ng mung bean, as in sobrang hirap niyang i-cross-pollinate kasi yung anther at saka yung stigma niya is magkasama. Kaya siya self-pollinating. Like naka-enclose talaga siya. Naka naka-enclose siya sa isang lalagyan. Parang gano'n. Tapos yung kailangan mong gawin is carefully mong ah bubutas ay i-aano parang sa slice mo yon gamit ang maliit na needle o yung karayom natin. Isa-slice mo siya carefully hanggang i-expose mo yung anther at saka yung stigma at saka yung anther niya. So, kukuha ka ng anther, yung mga pollen grains, kukunin mo yun, tapos saka mo ilalagay sa stigma niya. Ayan. Tapos saka mo babalutin ng plastic o kaya ng paper bag para mag-self-pollinate siya. Ayun. So, that is one thing that you can do. Pero in the case of mung bean kasi, sobrang hirap niya kasi maliliit yung flowers, tas delicate pa sila. So, if you want to cross-pollinate, pwede nyo i-try sa mga halaman na naka-expose yung kanyang mga parts. For example, gumamela, yung mga yan. Kaya, ang daming nade-develop ngayon ng mga different hybrids, mga different varieties ng gumamela kasi ah okay siyang i-cross-pollinate. So, pwede nyo i-try yun. Iba-ibang kulay, kunwari yellow, tas orange. Ganyan. Try nyo kung anong kakalabasan. So, that is one thing na sobrang ganda in the field of plant breeding. O, diba? So, actually, that is my specialization when I was in undergrad. Ayun. Kaya ang dami kong naikikwento. Alright, so before we go to the next item, let's have a 5-minute break for you to digest yung ating information. Ayan. So, we have tackled self-pollination and cross-pollination. Ayan. Ano yung difference nila? We have also tackled ito, yung goat being the poor man's cow. And of course, yung difference ng domesticated animals sa wild animals. So this is an example in goat. So of course, isa pa pala yung pinakauna yan, yung ating different scientific names. So let's have a 5-minute break first since ayan, naka almost 25 or 30 minutes na rin tayo na nag-discuss. Ayan. So let's go. Ayan, okay. So let us continue with item number 4. So for item number 4, in commercial duck hatcheries, when is sex determination of ducklings done? So A, 1 to 2 days, B, 2 to 3 days, C, 3 to 4 days, or letter D, 4 to 5 days. So these are types of questions na we need to be familiarized with, most especially since we are in the AFA major, which means there could be trivias or trivia question or technical questions that can appear in your let. So for this item, the answer is letter B, which is 2 to 3 days. So this can be seen in a guide that was published by the Department of Agriculture in Cagayan Valley in 2018. So in all commercial duck hatcheries, determining the sex of a duckling is done at the age of 2 to 3 days. So take note of this because this might be in your lab. Yan. So in line with this, we also have another item. Yan. How many feedings a day are sufficient for ducklings over 2 weeks old? So later I can send yung guide on duck farming pala sa group chat natin. Ayan, for you to review. Actually, okay yung mga, if you have more time, I know that the let exam is near na. Ayan. So, if you have spare time, you can look at different guides from the Department of Agriculture. For example, how to grow ducks, how to grow uh, swine, yung mga ganun na bagay. So, you can look for files from the Department of Agriculture. Later, I think I can send yung pinagkuhanan ko nitong sa ducks at saka yung sa swine, I think meron din. So, yan. How many feedings a day are sufficient for ducklings over 2 weeks old? A, 2 to 3 days. B, 3 to 4 days. C, 4 to 5 days. Or letter D, 5 to 6 days. The answer is 4 to 5 days. Ayan. So, ang sabi dito sa Department of Agriculture in Cagayan Valley, sabi na if feed is given at intervals, ducklings learn to eat more readily and their appetites are developed to stuff themselves in between drinks, digest food quickly, and be ready to eat their fill for the next feeding time. So, in line with that, 4 to 5 feedings a day are sufficient for ducklings over 2 weeks old. We need to acknowledge na bakit ang dami? Ang mga tao nga 3 days lang, ay 3 days, 3 times a day lang, ganyan, diba? We need to acknowledge that these are ducklings, which means they are children. Children. They are young. So, kapag young ang ating mga animals, it is suggested to nourish them. Kaya 4 to 5 feedings. Ayan. Actually, ngayon ko lang na-realize, mali pala tong label, but days yung nakalagay dyan. 2 to 3 feedings, 3 to 4 feedings, ganun pala dapat yan. Okay. We'll adjust that sa next, ay sa mock exam. Okay? Next, we have this one. Which breed of chicken is not under the fighting class? If you will remember, and if you have already studied for the animal science session, which is session 4, ayan, so you can remember, I hope no, that you can remember that we have discussed the different sources of ano yung mga different na roles ng ating mga chicken. So we have different breeds that are grown for meat. Ayan. So we have breeds that are grown for meat. We have breeds that are grown for eggs. We also have chickens, breeds of chicken that are dual in purpose. When we say dual in purpose, They can be a source of meat or they can be a source of egg. And right now, I'm introducing another classification or another use for chickens or yes, ang ating chickens ay fighting class. So fighting. So they can also be used as fighting or in uh, other term, ito yung ginagamit sa mga sabong. Tama ba sabong? Ayan, yung mga game. So which of these breeds are not under the fighting class? Ayan. So, yes, correct. Ma'am L. Rose. Ayan. So, the answer for this one is letter D, which is Rhode Island Red. So, tignan natin yung itsura nila. Ayan. So, I uh, play some pictures here. So, these pictures are not mine. They were from Pinterest. Disclaimer. Ayan. So, uh, what is the common phenotype? What is the common quality na meron yung tatlo? So ito pala is yung letter A. So this is our rubble or ruble. This is hulsay. This is claret, and this is the Rhode Island red. So if you will notice, the one quality that is very defined sa mga fighting class is yung kanilang ito. Sobrang defined nung kanilang tails. Ayan. So, these are fighting class. And itong isa naman, ito yung Rhode Island Red. So, Rhode Island Red is grown for meat, egg, or dual. So, the answer for that is dual. So, Rhode Island Red is grown for dual purpose, which is also which are meat and eggs. Ayan. Next. Number 7, what is the business of catching, handling, taking, marketing, and preserving of fish and other fishery products? So A, fishery, B, aquaculture, C, fish cultivation, or letter D, fish culture. Ayan. So for this one, the answer is letter A, which is fishery. As you can see sa question natin, ito like kong sinasabi all throughout our sessions that a general answer must have to be must have anong tawag dito? A general question must also have a general answer. So kung makikita natin dun sa question natin, anong tawag dito? It encompassed the whole process. So catching, handling, taking, marketing, and preserving of fish and other fishery products. So dun pa lang, you can opt to choose yung ating pinaka-general na answer, which is fishery. So fish cultivation and fish culture will be discussed when you watch yung ating recorded session on fisheries. Ayan. And madidiscuss din doon yung aquaculture. Ayan. So number 8, ito. Which term is applied to a group of organisms with the specific characteristics that distinguish them from other groups within that species? So A, inbred, B, crossbreed, C, breed, or letter D, hybrid. Inbreed or inbred. Inbred, ayun yung tawag dun sa organism mismo. Okay, so the answer for this one is letter C, which is breed. So let us define, tama ba yan? Let us define each term that was that were in the choices. So inbreed, or yan, yung inbreeding natin, it is the production of offspring from the mating or breeding of individuals or organisms that are closely related genetically. So we can see here from the illustration, okay, so let us trace So, this is a cross. This is a, anong tawag na dito? Pedigree. This is a pedigree of the different horse qualities. So, A is the dominant allele and yung uh, lowercase na a, ito yung recessive na allele. So, we can see here na ito, wait lang ha. So, this one holds a recessive na allele which is yung small a. Then ito naman ay uh, it has a dominant allele. So when we do inbreeding, we are mating an organism, ito tingnan natin, with a related organism. We are uh, we are mating yung offspring, and in this case, ito yung offspring. We are mating this offspring to a related organism. And in this case, ang related ay ito. Kaya nakalagay dito inbreeding. Kasi, ang genotype niya ay parehas ng sa mother. Which is, uh, anong tawag dito? Big A, small a. So, this is called heterozygous in genetics. So, dahil binread mo sila, ayan, ang possible na lalabas dyan ay recessive, which is, kung makikita natin dito, ayan, tignan nyo yung mga letters, ay yung mga genotype nila. Napunta sa kanya yung both na recessive na allele. Ayan. Again, kapag sinabing inbreeding, pag sinabing inbreeding, it is the mating of individuals that are close to each other. Kung titignan nyo pati, another clue here, kapag hindi tayo sa genotype magbe-base, ayan, closely related organism. So this is the mother. Sige, i-label natin sila. And blue. This is the mother. Ito yung father. Kasi ito yung mga anak nila. So this is offspring 1. So it means magkakapatid tong mga to. Offspring 2. And this is offspring 3. Ayan o, kasi nakakonect sila, di ba? So magkakapatid, ito, at ito. Tapos kapag pinag-mate sila, ito, inbreeding, di ba? Ang sabi, inbreeding is the mating of organisms that are closely related genetically, which means perhaps they came from a similar ancestor. Sa case na to, kapag sinabing ancestor, ito yung parents nila. Itong dalawang organisms na to ay nanggaling dito sa dalawang ito. So they are closely related. Ayun yung tinatawag na inbreeding. And at most times, this is not only true sa animal science, but even in plant breeding and even in human genetics. Kapag nagkakaroon ng inbreeding, it will mostly result to a phenotype na hindi kaaya-aya. So there are a lot of, I don't know if you have seen the, anong tawag dito? Yung parang documentary ng family tapos sila-sila na lang yung parang nagpaparami gano'n. So ang dami nilang deformities in terms of their appearance. So that is a consequence. That is a consequence of inbreeding. Yan. So you can also observe this in humans and you can also observe this in plants. Na kapag nagkakaroon ng inbreeding, nagdi-decrease yung isang quality. So for example, sa corn, kapag nag-inbreed ka ng nag-inbreed sa corn, liliit lang yung height ng corn. 'Di ba yung parang gusto natin is yung mga matatangkad na corn para mas maraming space na pwedeng pagtubuan ng yung corn mismo. Ayan. So that is inbreeding. Next one is crossbreeding. So ang crossbreeding naman, this is a general term. Later we will tackle more on sa hybrid kasi nasa choices din yan. Ang crossbreeding naman, we have purebred na parents of two different breeds, varieties, or population. So crossbreeding, this could be observed yung sa inyo, yung sa family nyo. Kunyari, person 1, person 2, tapos kapag nagkaanak sila, that is crossbreeding. Same true with animals. If you can see in this illustration, we have here, for example, breed 1, itong cow number 1, for example, kapag ilalagay natin yung genotype niya, sige, gawa tayo ng breed 1, siguro A. Breed 2 is A. Ayan, ganyan. So, ang mangyayari dito, ang F1 niya, it will have the qualities, 50% from this one, and 50% from the parent. That is why ganito. So, kapag kunwari, gusto mo pa siyang i-breed to another breed, uh, which is this one, breed 3, for example, AA din siya, magkakaroon ng another organism, another offspring na meron yung qualities nilang tatlo. So in this case, from parent 1 and parent 2, from parent 1 and parent 2, 25%, tas sa parent 2, 25%, tas sa parent 3, 50%. Ayan. So this is an example of crossbreeding. But of course, kahit wala yung kaya sabi ko kanina, this is a general term, kahit wala yung parent number 3, crossbreeding pa rin ang tawag doon. So again, kapag sinabing crossbreeding, parents of two different breeds, varieties, or population. So ang parents nila is from different breeds or different varieties. Whereas, balik tayo sa inbreeding, ang parents nila ay closely related genetically. So, sa inbreeding pala, pwedeng half, ano yan? Sibling mating, sib mating, which means i-mate mo siya with uh, tawag dito, sibling niya, pwede rin sa parents, sa mother, or i-mate mo rin siya sa father. Ganun. So, ayun yung different types of inbreeding. So, ayan. Sa crossbreeding, different magkaiba. Inbreeding, closely related na parents, na organisms, ang pagbe-breed mo. Okay. Ngayon naman, let's talk about hybrid. So, hybrid, if you're familiar with an organism which is liger. Ayan. So this is a hybrid of lion and tiger. So ganyan yung parang ginawa nila. Hybrid, ito when two animals of the same species mate, their offspring get 50% of their genes from each parent. This is what this is what makes you look like a mixture of your parents. Hybrids are crosses between two different species. So they contain 50% of the genes from each parent species. So kanina sabi ko crossbreeding is a general term. So ang hybrid is under yung crossbreeding natin. So this is an example, yung uh, pag-hybrid ng lion tsaka tiger. Yeah. So, ano yung isang term ay yung breed. So, ang question pala kasi dito sa number 8, which term is applied to a group of organisms with the specific characteristics that distinguish them from other groups within that species. So they are looking for an objective term sa group ng organisms na yun. So the answer for that is breed. So yung breed na term, it is not only on animal science, but that can also be applied sa sa crop science. Yung breed. Basta kapag merong distinguished na characteristics, which means pare-pareha sila. Ayun, that can be considered as a breed. Yan, so number 9, which is the collective term of domestic birds that are raised for either their meat or eggs or as pets. So we have here the different terms: A, flock; B, fowl; C, bird; or letter D, poultry. The answer for this one is letter D, which is poultry. The key term na pwede niyong pag-base ng answer is the term collective. Ayan, of domestic, which means, again, kapag domestic, these are systematically bred, systematically bred na mga organisms that are for production or for agricultural purposes. So, let's define the other para hindi tayo malito. So, una yung flock. So, ang flock is a number of birds of one kind. Ayan. So, if you will look at it, it can be considered, okay, so ito, collective term din ito. But, ang difference nila ay, ang tinatanong sa question, raised at saka domestic. And yung flock, it is just a general term na nagsasabi na itong mga to, magkakasama sila physically, na kumakain, nagpapahinga, or nagta-travel together. So that is considered as a flock. So if you're familiar with the birds na naka-V shape kapag they're traveling, so that is an example of a flock. Next is fowl, a bird of the order Galliformes that is kept for its eggs and flesh, a rooster or hen. So if you will look at it the term fowl is qualified dun sa second part ng question, which is raised for either their meat or their eggs. But still, the question is asking for a collective term. And yung fowl, it only refers to one bird, a bird of the order Galliformes. So an example of this is yung chicken natin, yung rooster or yung hen. So that is a fowl if it is just there alone. Next, letter C is bird. So this is the more general term, which is it is a warm-blooded egg-laying vertebrate, distinguished by the possession of feathers, wings, and a beak, and typically by being able to fly. So that is a broader term. And of course, yung poultry natin. So that is the answer. Actually, the poultry industry here in the Philippines, ayan yung chicken, kaya ayan yung binabanggit ko kanina. Chicken is one of the focus ng ating poultry industry. So we also have duck, we also have, I think, small industry on turkey, geese, yung mga yan, quail, ayan yung mga ilan sa mga focus ng ating poultry industry. Okay, so number 10, at what age does improved breed of swine, that must have a letter D, improved breed of swine reach puberty? So A, 5 to 7 months, B, 6 to 8 months, C, 4 to 6 months, or letter D, 8 to 10 months. So this is a trivia or technical na question or objective na question. So the answer for this one is letter B, which is 6 to 8 months. Ayan. 6 to 8 months. So first and foremost, let us define what is puberty. So I think that we tackled this. So in humans, actually, this is also true in animals. Ayan, puberty starts on the moment in which the animal turns an adult. So it turns sexually mature and fertile. So, ayan. Ayun yung puberty. So sa or babaeng baboy, this normally happens when she is between 5.5 to 8 months old. Tas sa boar naman, which is yung lalaking baboy, the age range is more or less similar, although maybe a little bit higher, 6 to 9 months. And ang pinakamalapit dito sa ating uh, choices is yung letter B, which is 6 to 8 months. Actually, ayun din yung malapit dito sa... Kasi ang answer naman, ang tinatanong is swine. So swine, it is a general na term. General. So it can either be sow or yung female or boar. So sabi dito 5.5 to 8 months old tapos 6 to 9. So ang pinakapasok is yung 6 to 8 months old. Remember this different values. Number 11. Which of the following environmental conditions is not required for a successful incubation of egg? So A, temperature, B, humidity, C, egg turning, or letter D, salinity. So nasa ano na to, egg production. So the answer for this one is letter D, which is yung salinity. Actually, salinity is not even considered in incubation because salinity, this could be a term associated with fisheries. This could be a term associated with crop science, salinity of the soil science din, pwede rin. So, if you have that knowledge on the different sciences, okay, animal science, parang itong term na to, hindi ko naman to naririnig sa animal science. So this could be the answer kasi wala naman siya dito sa incubation ng egg. So ayun, that's a benefit of knowing kung saang field siya ng agriculture kabilang. So ang salinity ay karaniwang ginagamit sa soil science, ayan, pwede rin sa fisheries, salinity of the water. Ano ba ba? Ayan, sa crop science din, as they are closely related sa soil science. Ayan. So, ito. Let's go in depth sa process of incubating yung chickens. So, ayan. Sa pag-incubate ng chicken, it is a 21-day process. I think meron. Ayan, tama. It is a 21-day process and it requires an egg incubator to help control temperature, humidity, and egg turning. So, these are the factors that are important in chicken egg incubation. And temperature, humidity, and egg turning. So we need to know or we need to understand na in if nakakita na kayo nung anong tawag dito, 'di ba yung itlog nasa nest ng isang chicken siguro. Tapos 'di ba pumapatong yung hen doon sa itlog na yon. That is to control temperature, humidity. Ayun. So, sa incubation ng chicken eggs in the production level, so yung kanina sinabi ko na yung hen or yung babaeng manok ay pumapatong dun sa kanyang mga eggs, that is on the organic farming side, or kapag kunwari nasa backyard lang yung mga chicken nyo, ganon. But on the production level, kapag sinabing production level, maramihan, ayan, commercial level, ganito yung ginagawa nila. So, first, day one, setting the egg. So, ilalagay mo lang yung eggs dun sa incubator. Day 1 to 18, turning the eggs. So, yung eggs ay iniikot-ikot para magkaroon ng magandang form or position yung yolk, yung egg yolk natin. Day 7 to 10, doon ginagawa yung candling of eggs. Mamaya we will discuss more on candling. Ayan. And day 18 to 21, pre-hatching. And of course, day 21, in the with the optimum na environmental conditions, mag-hatch na yung mga eggs. So, meron na tayong mga chicks. So, let's discuss more on candling. Ayan. So, ganito daw yung itsura kapag kinandling natin uh, every day. Ayan, doon sa 21 days. So, candling is the act of simply shining a light through an egg. Ayan. So, white and light-colored shells are the easiest to candle, while darker shells will require a brighter light. So, ito ginagawa to para makita kung meron na bang development doon sa loob ng egg. So, if you can see there sa day 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 hanggang 20, dark na siya, which means nag-grow or nagde-develop na yung chick. Ayan. So, ang pinakasimple na pag-candle ng egg is flashlight. Pero of course, if you are in, for example, in the farm. For example, here in UPLB, when we are, anong tawag dito, in our animal science class, meron silang specific na parang platform, tas may ilaw sila doon, tas ilalagay namin yung egg doon. So, meron mga ganong klaseng equipment na designed for candling. So, ganito yung incubation process. So, from day 1, syempre day 1, wala pa masyado yan. Tapos makikita mo na sa day 4 na may mga veins na. Ayan. Day 3, day 4, meron na hanggang tumutubo na lahat. Ayan. Hanggang nagda-dark. So, the darker the egg is, mas malapit na siya mag-hatch tsaka mag-develop. So again, before we move, let's have another 5-minute break. Ayan, kasi 6:34. Ayan, so let's have a 5-minute break. Then let's discuss for another 30 or 25 minutes. Then after that, we can have a longer break pala since of course, baka baka you will be taking your dinner, ganyan. So let's have perhaps a 15-minute break mamaya after. So let's have a 5-minute break to digest the information kasi medyo marami tayong na discuss for this round. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so let us continue with number 12. Which kind of animals has bulk foods as basic diets? So bulk foods as basic diet. So A, we have fowl. B, aquatic animals. C, ruminants. Or letter D, swine. So here, the answer is letter C, which is ruminant. So bakit nga ba kailangan ng mga ruminants ng bulk foods? Kapag sinabing bulk, marami. Ba't nila kailangan ng maraming foods? It's because they have a four-chambered stomach, which means they have four compartments sa kanilang stomach. So this is contrary to what we know for us humans. We only have one stomach. So ang ating mga ruminants, so ang isang example ng ruminants ay ang cattle. Another is sheep. Ayan. So, ang mga ruminants natin, they have four chambers sa stomach na yan. So, first, we have the rumen. Next, we have reticulum, omasum, and of course, yung abomasum. So, you can see those different parts in this illustration. So, as you can notice, the rumen is the largest one. Then your reticulum, 3, which is omasum, then abomasum. So, let us know more sa kanila. Okay. So, the rumen on the left side of the animal is the largest stomach compartment and consists of several sacs. So, hindi lang siya isang sacs, marami yang sacs. So, actually, sinabi ko na rin to sa aming past sa animal science na lecture that when we were in our first year, isa yan sa mga practical exam namin, merong talagang nakalatag na stomach or digestive system ng isang ruminant, which is yung sheep, nakalatag talaga siya sa table, tapos i-identify namin kung ano yung mga parts na nandoon. So, ayan. So, ang rumen, ito yung pinakamalaki and it can hold 25 gallons or more na mga material depending on the size of the cow. So, the bigger the organism is, the more capacity na meron yung kanyang rumen. Ayan. So, because of its size, the rumen acts as a storage or holding vat for feed. So, ang rumen, ang kanyang function is mag-hold ng maraming materials which can be feed and everything. So, makikita natin dito sa next na compartment which is yung reticulum. So, yung reticulum naman, it's a pouch-like structure. May pouch-like structure siya. Pouch-like structure. Pouch-like structure. Ayan, so close to the heart. So the tissues in the reticulum look like a honeycomb. If you, hindi ko alam kung meron ba sa inyong, if familiar kayo sa pinapaitan. Pinapaitan, yung, di ba mga laman loob yung laman nun? So most of the time, may mga mapapansin kayo doon na parang merong hexagon na parang honeycomb na element. Wow. Kung meron mga Ilocano dito, alam ko nakakaano kayo, nakaka-relate ko. Ayan. Para merong ganito. Ayan. Or hindi ako sure kung sa pares ba meron din. Ayan. Pares or sa pinapaitan. Pero ayun, that is the reticulum. So, ayan. Reticulum. So, doon pumupunta yung mga heavy or dense feed and of course yung mga metal objects na na nai-ingest ng ating mga ruminants. Ayan. Pero, ayun nga, hindi kasi may iwasan yun na, syempre, wala naman silang malay, gano'n. So, kinakain lang nila kung anong meron doon. So, there are times na nakaka-ingest sila ng other, anong tawag doon? Other elements, ganyan. Ayun. So, doon pupunta yung mga nails, ayan, and sharp objects that work in the tissue. So, ayun yung purpose ng reticulum. Ang distinction niya is mukha siyang honeycomb. So next naman is yung omasum. So sa omasum naman, it is a globe-shaped structure containing leaves of tissue. So ito naman, para siyang pages in the book. Ito yata yung ano ba? Oo. Ito yung tuwalya. If you are familiar, ayun yata yung ginagamit sa kare-kare. Tama ba? So ang main function ng omasum ay mag-absorb ng water and other substances from the digestive content. So yung sa digestive contents, ito na yung mga nutrients. Ayan. Ayun na yung ginagawa ng omasum. And of course, we have abomasum. Ang abomasum, ito yung ginagamit ng, or ito yung pinapertain na true stomach. Ayan. So, ang abomasum, ang kanyang function is same with our stomach. Ayan. So, andito na nare-release na yung hydrochloric acid and digestive enzymes na nagbe-breakdown ng mga pagkain. Ayun. So, ito, nakalagay dito. The abomasum is similar to a non-ruminant stomach. So, again, we have, kaya kailangan ng ruminants ng bulk foods. It's because they have 4 compartments sa kanilang stomach. First is yung rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. So, ang rumen, ito yung pinakamalaki. Ang reticulum, ito yung honeycomb, kung saan napupunta yung mga other materials like nails and yung mga foreign objects na nai-ingest ng ating mga ruminants. Omasum naman, it absorbs water and other substances from the digestive contents. And yung abomasum, ito yung breakdown ng mga nutrients para magamit ng katawan ng hayop na yon. Alright? So I hope it is clear sa part na yon. Okay, so yeah. So number 13, we have the best age to allow a gilt to breed is A, 5 months, B, 6 months, C, 7 months, or letter D, 8 months. Again, this is an objective an objective question, so I need you to take note of this value. The answer for this one is letter D, which is 8 months. So here is the source. It is from the Department of Agriculture, Agricultural Training Institute. So the best age now for breeding is 8 months. Yan. So at least second or third heat, weighing about 100 to 110 kilograms. So this is for, in the case of gilt. Ang gilt ay uh, batang babae na baboy. Ayan. So gilt ang tawag doon. So again, 8 months. Number 14, ito, which is referred to as the hard covering of a seed. A, endosperm, B, testa, C, flesh, or letter D, cotyledon. So this goes in your basic crop science. Doon tayo magsisimula sa seed. The answer for this one is letter B, which is testa. So displayed here sa gilid are 2 different types of seed, which is a monocot and a dicot. Pag monocot, iisa lang yung kanyang, anong tawag dito? Iisa lang yung kanyang embryo. Kapag naman, dicot, dalawa ang kanyang cotyledons. Or ayan. From the term itself, monocotyledon, dicotyledon. So, ayan. So, here are the different parts of the seed. So sa yung letter A, endosperm. Ang endosperm doon na i-store yung food or yung biological reserves ng isang buto. So ayan yung ginagamit, ayan diyan nagmumula yung mga carbohydrates, yung starch na kailangan ng isang seed para tumubo siya further. So, nasa endosperm yun. Next is yung flesh actually is somehow similar to the endosperm. Ayan. So, next is yung cotyledon. Halos same din sila na endosperm because it is a part of the, hindi. Ang cotyledon pala is under siya ng embryo. So, ang embryo, ito yung nagde-develop into a new plant. So, kung mapapansin nyo, kapag nag-plant kayo ng corn, ang tubo niya is isang ganun lang. Hindi ko alam kung nakapagtanim na kayo ng corn, pero kapag ito yung corn, kapag ayan yung corn, and after 2 weeks or days, ganito siya. Like may tutubo lang na ganyan. Tapos may possible na parang ganyan. So ganyan ang tubo ng corn. Whereas, if you will plant a mung bean o yung munggo, kapag tumubo yan, parang may ganito. Ayan, tapos saka tutubo yung, ayan, parang ganyan siya. So, that is because iisa lang yung pinagmumulan ng cotyledon sa corn. So ito, mapupush upwards lang to. Itong part nito, itong embryo. Whereas dito, marami siyang parts sa dicotyledon. We have plumule, epicotyl, hypocotyl, radical, and cotyledon. These are terms that goes beyond plant development, plant growth and development. So we will not go into that na lang. Ayan. So dito naman, yung seed coat, which is ito yung tinatanong dito, hard covering of the seed. So yung seed coat, it protects the seed. So that is the general term for monocotyledons. Whereas kapag naman sa dicotyledon, which is an example ito ang bean, mung bean, sitaw, yung mga yan. It is divided into two. We have the tegmen and the testa. So testa, ito yung mas outer na covering ng seed. So, kaya siya tinatawag na hard covering kasi ayun yung mas nasa labas. So, yung tegmen ayun yung, if you will see here, siya yung naka light green na layer. Ito lang yung testa, ay yung tegmen. Then yung testa ayun yung nasa labas. So, kaya siya hard kasi dapat it will protect the endosperm. Kasi yung endosperm, ayun, doon magmumula yung growth, doon magmumula yung energy na kailangan ng halaman para tumubo. So, kailangan protektahan ng testa or ng ating seed coat yung endosperm. Kasi kapag nasira yan, the possibility is, number one, hindi magkakaroon ng magandang growth yung iyong seed. And number two, plant pathogens can go inside, so mas may hinder pa yung pag-grow ng seed, or in the worst case scenario, hindi na talaga mag-germinate or hindi na tutubo yung seed na iyon. So this is your basic seed science. So let's move to number 15. Ayan. So which chicken disease is caused by a virus and with no known treatment? So letter A, avian malaria, B, Newcastle disease, C, Marek's disease, or letter D, coccidiosis. So in this item, we have two answers, two possible answers, pero sa mock test, isa lang yung inilagay ko. So this is just to discuss yung isa pang item na kapag maririnig nyo yung item na yon or yung choice na yon, ito, wala tong known treatment. Okay? So the answer is letter, it's either B or C. Wait nga, I will check pa rin muna. Yeah. Okay. So it's either B or letter C. So yan, tignan natin sila isa-isa. So avian malaria. Malaria is a mosquito-borne disease of birds caused by a protozoan parasite. So the causative agent for this is a protozoan parasite. So, ayan. Ang treatment niya, merong nakalagay na treatment. So, artesunate and a combination of artesunate and Primaquine. So, ito yung karaniwang treatment ng avian malaria. So, ang question, it pertains to the chicken disease with no known treatment. So, since avian malaria ay may treatment, that could not be the answer. So, let's move muna dun sa pang-last. So, ito, coccidiosis is a parasitic disease of the intestinal tract of animals caused by a coccidian. The causative agent is Coccidian protozoa. So if you will notice sa choices na A tsaka D, they are not caused by a virus, which is, ayun yung sabi dito, di ba? Sabi, which chicken disease is caused by a virus? So avian malaria is caused by a protozoan parasite, as well as coccidiosis, which is caused by a Coccidian protozoa. So this disease spreads from one animal to another by contact with infected feces or ingestion of infected tissue. So ang common na treatment dito is amprolium, which blocks the parasite's ability to uptake and multiply. So again, coccidiosis, I think you will also meet this mamaya sa later discussion. Coccidiosis and avian malaria are caused by protozoa. So let's move here sa mga answers natin. The Newcastle disease is a highly infectious disease affecting poultry and other birds. So disease is caused by infection with virulent strains of Newcastle disease virus. So check na una, virus. So it is caused by a virus. And in terms of the treatment, there is no specific treatment for Newcastle disease as of now. So antibiotics can be given, pero ang antibiotics, it does not affect viruses. So perhaps this is just to lighten yung mga symptoms. So far wala pang specific treatment for Newcastle disease. So next is yung Marek's disease. So if you look at Marek's disease or fowl paralysis, this is caused by herpes virus. So again, check na naman, it is caused by a virus. And in terms of their treatment, there is still no known treatment for Marek's disease. So, ang sabi dito, deceased birds should be promptly removed from the flock and humanely destroyed. So, other birds in the flock are likely to be infected at this stage. So, close monitoring of all birds is important. So, that is the disadvantage of having a virus. And we've studied this in our microbiology class no undergrad. Pero I think that we all have first-hand experience naman when it comes to virus, considering the COVID virus. Ayan. So yung COVID-19. So that is the anong tawag dito? Mode of action ng virus until yung host uh is meron. Yan, it can transfer the disease. It can transfer the virus from one organism to another. Yeah. So Marek's disease and Newcastle disease. These items, itong mga diniscuss ko will be mamaya din sa mga further items. So take note of that. I hope that you can answer kung lumabas na mamaya. Okay, next. So which cattle disease is characterized by septicemia and sudden death? It is caused by a bacteria that is transmitted through inhalation or through flies and mosquito. So the answer for this one is letter D, which is anthrax. So this one has already been discussed sa ating animal science. Ayan. And here are the other terms. So first, yung foot and mouth disease. So, ang foot and mouth disease is a serious and highly contagious animal disease that affects all cloven-hoofed animals. So, ang foot and mouth disease, it can be seen in cattle, sheep, goats, camelids, deer, and pigs. So, ayan. It does not affect horses or zebras. So, take note of this. Baka lalabas din to kung which of the following organisms are affected by foot and mouth disease? Ayan. So, remember na ang foot and mouth disease does not affect horses or zebra. Okay, next is hemorrhagic septicemia. It is a bacterial disease that mainly affects cattle and water buffalo. So dito, cattle, sheep, goats. Ayun siguro yung pinakamahalaga. Deer and pigs. Ayan, hindi lang yung camels. Sa hemorrhagic septicemia naman, cattle and water buffalo. Ayan. So it is an important cause of livestock mortality. So ang hemorrhagic septicemia is cause of livestock mortality. Kapag sinabi mo livestock mortality, namamatay yung mga farm animals natin. Ayan. So that's a bacterial disease. And of course, yung last which is yung PRDC, Porcine Respiratory Disease Complex, Pneumonia Disease Complex. Ayan. Ay, mali. And pneumonia of multiple etiology causing clinical disease and failure to gain weight later in the finishing process. So, this is also affecting yung ating livestock. Ayan. So, respiratory disease siya. And of course, yung anthrax natin. So, let's finish, I think, until item number 20 and we can have a longer break. Ayan. For you to take your dinner siguro, ganyan. So, number 17, which organic farming cultural practices breaks the life cycle of insects and diseases? So, A, cover cropping, B, crop rotation, C, organic fertilization, or letter D, composting. The keyword there is break the life cycle. So the answer for this one is letter B, which is crop rotation. So when we do crop rotation, you are ano tawag dito, changing the crop in your field every month siguro or every after the life cycle of the plant. For example, in a field, let's sige, illustrate. In a field, and field 1, field 2. Siguro. So, in this field, siguro magtanim tayo ng tomatoes. Ayan, tomatoes. Sige. Tapos, so kapag nagbunga na yung tomatoes, of course, and then, all throughout the life cycle of tomatoes, meron yung mga peste or mga diseases. So, of course, you can observe mga, anong tawag dito, diseases like bacterial rot, yung mga ganyan. So, you can observe that. So, in the next season, kapag kunwari naka-harvest ka na, kapag pinalitan mo yung tomato, so for example, ginawa mo siyang mung bean. Kapag bumalik yung mga peste ng tomato, tas mung bean yung nakita nila doon, hindi sila para ibang host to ibang ano to, ibang halaman to. So, lilipat sila or iba yung pupuntahan nila. That is the beauty of crop rotation. That is why we do crop rotation for us to break yung life cycle ng insect. So kapag mung bean na yung nakatanim doon, hindi na mag-continue yung life cycle ng mga peste or mga diseases na nandoon. So remember that crop rotation breaks the life cycle of insects and disease. So if you are wondering what type of control method ang crop rotation, it is a cultural control method. So actually, we have a lot of control method. Not only cultural, we also have biological, chemical, gagamit ka ng mga pesticides. Of course, we also have HPR or host plant resistance. So ito kapag resistant na ba ito yung paggamit ng mga resistant na mga varieties. Another is, of course, physical control, mechanical control. Ito yung weeding, ganyan. Pag tatanggalin mo mismo yung weed o kaya tatanggalin mo mismo yung mga insekto, ganun. We also have, of course, biotechnological approach. Pag biotechnological approach, ito na yung paggamit ng ating mga genetically modified na organisms like for example, the BT corn. Ang BT corn, kaya yan ginawang BT corn, it's because uh, we are experiencing back then a huge infestation ng ang tawag dito, Asiatic corn borer. Ang Asiatic corn borer, Asiatic corn borer. Asiatic corn borer. Ito ang kinakain niya yung mga corn, ganyan, yung grains ng corn. Kaya hindi maganda yung ani ng ating mga farmers kasi maraming rejects, parang ganun. So that is why ginamit nila gumawa using biotechnology ng BT corn, which is Bacillus thuringiensis corn. Tapos yung bacteria na yon, kapag yung Bacillus thuringiensis pala is a bacteria. Kapag kapag nakain siya ng Asiatic corn borer, mamamatay yung Asiatic corn borer. So there's a lot to discuss about BT corn, and perhaps in the next sessions we can discuss that more extensively. Yeah. So these are just some form of control. Meron ding mga items na ganito mamaya in the next, anong tawag dito, in the next items about this control. Okay, so next, let's have number 18. Ito, catching or controlling of pest using a decoy is A, catching by hand, B, providing natural enemies, C, catching by traps, or letter D, applying chemicals. So the answer for this one is letter C, which is catching by traps. Kasi nakalagay doon decoy. So that is an example of a physical control of insects. Di ba kanina we discussed the different types of control. So this one is an example of physical control because you are physically protecting your plants. Naglalagay ka ng traps, so may physical barrier kang ginagawa sa iyong plants. Another example of physical control is using a net. 'Di ba? Meron tayong mga ginagamit na net para hindi makapasok doon yung mga insekto, hindi makapasok doon yung mga lumilipad na mga ano tawag dito, na mga insects that can destroy your plants. Ayun. So, I'm also using that back then when I was having my rooftop garden. Yeah. So, ang isa sa mga problema ko is yung mga insekto talaga ng basil kasi maraming kumakain ng basil leaves ng mga insekto. So, ayun. Ang isa sa ginagawa ko is naglalagay ako ng physical barrier which is yung net. Okay, number 19, which is growing two or more crops in alternating strips. A, cover cropping, B, crop rotation, C, organic fertilization, or letter D, composting. So for this one, it might surprise you na, hala, bakit parang wala naman dyan yung answer or what? Pero if meron mga ganitong questions, you must go to the best answer because that could be the answer. Or, first, tignan natin. Two or more crops in alternating strips. Kanina, we've discussed crop rotation. So, ang crop rotation is not growing two crops in alternating strips. It is growing based on time, not on space. Kumbaga, ang question, yung tinatanong, yung ina-ask niya ay spatial, which means, wait lang, mag-drawing tayo. So, ang answer pala dito is letter A, cover cropping. Pero ang best answer dyan mamaya ilalagay ko. Wala sa choices eh. So, kapag cover crop, ay kapag sinabing spatial, anong tawag dito? Spatial, spatial. Kapag sinabing spatial, uh, you are growing at the same time two different crops. So this would be crop A and this would be crop B. Yeah. Ayun yung pwede sa cover cropping. Kasi kapag cover cropping, you are uh, also allotting a space doon sa field mo or sa farm mo for another crop. Ayun. That's cover cropping. Next naman is yung sa crop rotation naman is temporal. Wow, temporal. So kapag sinabing temporal, time naman. 'Di ba kanina diniscuss natin na for example, ito from January to March, ang nakatanim dito tomato, tas from April to May, munggo naman. Parang ganun. So that's using the temporal or time na factor. Yeah. So, ayun yung sa crop rotation. Yung letter C, yung letter D, I think that organic fertilization, wala namang tinatanong about nutrients. Kapag fertilization, ang pinaka-keyword dyan dapat ay nutrients. Ayun. And yung composting also, nutrients. So, since wala yun sa question natin, so it is that marks it as a wrong answer. So, ang pwede pagpilian dito is letter A or letter B. However, ang pinaka-okay ditong sagot ay it could be intercropping or multiple cropping. Ayan. So, kapag meron ito sa choices, these are the best answers. Pero in our case na yung sa question is sa choices ay wala siya. Go to the nearest. Pero intercropping or multiple cropping is the best answer for this. Kasi sabi two or more. Two or more crops. Okay? So last, before we take our longer break, so which is the part of organizing the farm, and farm business, and the science of decision making related to its organization and operation in the most efficient way. So part so ito daw ay part ng organizing the farm business and science of decision making. So the answer for this one is letter A, which is farm inventory. So bakit A ang sagot? Keywords. The keywords that you need here is organizing, of course, decision making, and operation. Una-una sa lahat, kailangan ng inventory para mas ma-organize mo kung ilan pa ba yung kailangan. For example, you are, anong tawag dito, organizing a nursery. You're organizing a nursery. Kapag sinabing nursery, ito yung pinagbibilhan ng mga seedlings, di ba? Ah, kapag nag-inventory ka, you are taking note kung ilan yung ganito. For example, ilang basil plants yung nasa ganitong stage ng kanyang development. For example, ilang basil plants ang nasa vegetative stage. Ilang basil plants ang nasa reproductive stage. Ayan, ilang basil plants ang ready na for harvesting. Ayan, mga ganun. So you are taking note of that. So in that way, you are organizing the farm business. Next, decision making. Kapag sinabing decision making, ano yung mga kailangang gawin? Alin dito yung pinakamalapit na factor? Paano makaka-affect yung farm inventory sa decision making? For example, when you are taking note of the number of uh, ano to, kunwari, pesticide na meron sa isang farm, kailangan na bang bumili ng more pesticides or hindi pa? So kapag sobrang dami pa sa stock, kung marami ka pang supply doon ng mga ano, hindi ka mo na bibili. Or kapag wala na, bibili ka na. So that's part of the decision making. And of course, yung operation. How will a farm operate without knowing the inventory? 'Di ba? Aling mga materyales, aling mga raw materials, for example, ang ang kailangan pa. For example, if you are anong tawag dito? If you are running an animal production farm, for example, ano ba? Chicken farm. Ayan. Tas inventory kasama rin diyan yung ilan yung manpower, ilan yung ano. So kapag kunwari hindi mo alam kung ilan yung supply mo ng ganitong klaseng machine, ilang tao yung nasa farm mo, it will be hard for you to operate. Kasi unang-una sa lahat, okay, meron pa ba tayong machine na ganito yung gagawin na taga-cut ng ano, yung mga ganun na bagay. Taga-cut ng, for example, ng chicken meat, ganon. O kaya taga-collecta ng egg, yung mga ganon. So, that goes with the operation ng isang farm. So, ayun, those are some of the keywords that you need to think about here. So, farm records naman, ang records kasi is more on the fiscal property rin. Actually, it is somehow a, ano tawag dito? Holistic na document, ang farm record. So, asan yung farm dati? Ganyan. Farm manual is how you operate the farm. So, that could be used by new hires. Ganyan. And of course, yung farm accounts is on the fiscal or nasa financial yung mga yan. So if you're talking about organizing decision making and operation, farm inventory is the best answer for this one. So yeah, before we move to item number 21 and onwards, so let's have a longer break for you to have have your dinner or take a rest naman tayo dyan. Kapag hindi matatapos sa session na ito yung items na 75, i-include ko na lang siya sa fisheries kasi medyo mabilis lang yung fisheries. I think less than 4 hours. So we can use the spare time ng fisheries para i-discuss yung other concepts that are here sa integrated na part. Ayan. So yung mga recording nito, expect them on Sunday. Pinaka-late na yung Monday, pero Sunday I think kaya naman na. Kasi I have an event on Saturday. Ayan. So yung mga recording ng itong session natin ngayon and recording ng session 5 ay mas ma-upload siguro sa Sunday. Ayan. So let's have... Hello. Ayan. So yeah. Ayan. So let's have a longer break. You can take your dinner with your family, ganyan. So, ayan. I will just have the timer here. Perhaps 15 to 20 minutes pwede na yan. So let's go. So, yan, I hope that you have your dinner. Yan. So, one of the things that I realized then is that you can even review for this exam even while you're taking your dinner. For example, kanina while eating, wow, anong tawag dito? I asked myself, what are the scientific names of the things that of the food na kinakain ko? For example, yung rice, so ano scientific name yan? Chicken, what is the scientific name? Yung mga ganun na bagay. So you can also ask yourself, lalo na kapag ang ulam nyo ay pinakbet, mga ganun. So mas marami yung, anong tawag dito? Mas marami kayong ma-identify doon. So that's one of the techniques din na ginagawa ko dati, especially nung kumukuha kami ng mga basic agriculture subjects. So, lalo na sa crop science, anong tawag dito? Lumilibot kami dito sa loob ng UPLB, tapos ano kami ng mga scientific names ng mga halaman na nasa paligid. Itong puno to, ano scientific name nito? Itong flower na to, ano scientific name nito? Ayan, so that is one of the things that we are doing. Another is nung sa weed science naman, wow. So nung we are studying weed science, lagi ako nakatingin sa baba while walking. Kasi tumitingin ako ng different weeds, tapos ina-identify ko sila. Ito. Ito yung scientific name niya. Ito yung scientific name niya. So, that is one thing that you can do to make every moment ngayon count as a review sa para sa lab. So, ayan. Okay. So, let's move to number 21, which is a written statement or collection of facts and figures on a subject for a definite purpose. So, A, is it farm inventory, farm manual, farm records, or farm account? So the answer for this one is letter C, which is farm records. So when we say uh, records, you can see it there that it is a statement or collection of facts and figures. So when we are pertaining to a collection of facts or figures, it can be your record, right? So you can also utilize those context clues na meron sa question. Okay, so next, let's have number 22. So the rearing of fish under controlled or semi-controlled condition. So rearing or rearing, yan. So A, fish propagation, B, fish culture, C, fish cultivation, or letter D, fish conservation. So the answer for this one is letter C, which is cultivation. So the keyword that you need to look for sa question na to ay rearing. So rearing of fish under controlled or semi-controlled condition. That is cultivation. So number 23, which function of management determines and guide the progress being made to achieve the goals and the quality of the accomplishment? So A, is it directing, organizing, controlling or coordinating, or letter D, reporting or representing? So again, for questions like this, you can use yung mga context clues na meron tayo. Ano yung mga different keywords na you can identify from a specific question. And then in this case, it is determines and guide the progress. So the answer for this one is letter C, which is controlling and coordinating. Ayan. So ito sabi progress being made to achieve the goals and the quality of the accomplishment. So in order for you to achieve that quality, you need to control and also coordinate with other people. for you to manage a specific task. Yeah. So itong questions na to, it goes sa marketing strategies in agriculture. Ayun yung isa sa coverage ng Let AFA. Okay, so another management question. Which function of management determines the position and responsibilities uh, of personal or responsibilities to attain the objectives set in the plan? So the same choices: directing, organizing, controlling, or coordinating, or letter D, reporting. So the answer for this one is organizing. Again, you can use context clues, and the context clues for this one is determining the position and responsibilities. So when you organize, of course, you are setting different roles para sa yung mga kasama. For example, sino yung magiging head ng production? Sino yung magiging head ng marketing? Sino yung magiging head ng ano ba ba? Accounting, yung mga ganun na bagay. So, those are things that a manager do, a farm manager do in order to organize a specific enterprise or a specific business. Yeah. Okay. So next, again, let's go to a another technical question, which statement on the effective use of protective fungicide is true. So in questions like this, you need to look at every part of the sentence because an alteration can be in a specific part of a sentence. And in this case, tignan natin. So A, use too little fungicide at the right time and at a right way. Too little. B, use too much fungicide at the right time and the right way. C, use the extract of fungicide at the right time and at the right way. Or letter D, use the exact amount of fungicide at any time, at any way. So you need to look at the better answer. So the better answer or the best answer is letter C, which is use the extract of fungicide at the right time and at the right way. Actually, I think this is use the exact amount of fungicide at the right time and at the right way. Yeah. So a small alteration in a specific choice or a specific answer will make a huge impact kung ano man yung tamang sagot. So dito, kung makikita natin, ito too little, too much, pero dito right naman siya. Right time naman at saka right way. Pero do you need to use too little or do you need to use too much? Tapos dito, use the exact amount of fungicide at the right time and at the right way. Or exact amount of fungicide at any time at any way. So, yung mga different parts ng sentence dapat we are taking into account. Okay, next. Number 26, which refers to the total elimination of weed species. So A, eradication, B, control, C, prevention, or letter D, restriction. Again, the keyword is total elimination. So when we are pertaining to total elimination, we are eradicating. So the answer is letter A. Next, which of the following is a disadvantage of biopesticides? So A, they are more economical alternative. B, they have less dangerous impact on the environment and water quality. C, they take more extensive management and planning. D, helpful insects and animals can go completely unaffected by their use. So, again, they're asking about the disadvantage of biopesticides. So the answer for this one is letter C, which is they take more extensive management and planning. So in using biopesticides, pesticides, you are not, you don't have like a measurement or an exact measurement of the active ingredient. When we say active ingredient, these are the ingredients that kills or that eliminates specific pests. So, ayan yung meron sa ating mga chemical pesticides. So, they have active ingredient na ito mga to, makakapatay ito ah, ng borers. Itong mga to, makakapatay ito ng mga weeds. Yung mga ganun na bagay. So, ayun yung role ng active ingredients. In biopesticides, wala yung mga yon. So, you need more extensive management and planning na anong tawag dito, since hindi siya kontrolado. Kasi for example, kapag gagamit ka ng chemical pesticides, pwede mong sukat-sukatin lang. Tas okay na, easy. Unlike kapag biopesticides naman, you must, of course, ipiprepare mo pa yon, ano pa yung kailan ka maglalagay, kailan pinakamarami yung yung mga insects, for example, sa isang field, yung mga ganun na bagay. So you need to plan all of those kasi nga hindi ganun ka strong yung active ingredient na meron siya. And on the bright side naman, in using biopesticides, they are more economical. Kasi, karaniwan ng mga biopesticides that we have, for example, fermented fruit juice, if you are familiar with hindi, nutrient pala yun. Let's do oriental herb nutrient. So sa oriental herb nutrient, meron yung garlic, meron din yung sile. And those two have pesticidal property. Kapag sinabi natin pesticidal property, they can eliminate or they can irritate specific pests. So, also even as humans, kasi kapag nung time na gumawa ako ng oriental herb nutrient, which can also control insects, ako rin na hinahatching din ako kasi nga strong yung sili, ganyan. So, it can also affect humans. So, ayun. They are economical kasi pwede mong bilhin lang yan. Bili ka lang ng sili, bili ka lang ng bawang, ano pa yung isa? Ginger. Bili ka pa ng ginger. So, they're cheaper compared to pesticides, which are pricey and costs a lot talaga na. Magkano 300 plus, 500, 1,000 even. So, yeah. Next is they have less dangerous impact. Ayun naman yung isa pa sa mga advantage naman ng biopesticides na since organic sila or bio, they are derived from biological elements. For example, crops, ganyan. Fruits, plants, ganyan. So, they don't have a strong adverse effect or strong na negative effect sa environment. Unlike kapag kunwari chemical pesticides, of course, there could be anong tawag doon? Pollution, chemical pollution sa ating land, chemical pollution sa water quality. So those are some of the disadvantage naman kapag gagamit ka ng chemical pesticides. And of course, helpful as insects and animals can go completely unaffected by their use. So, kapag, anong tawag dito, biopesticides, yung meron tayong tinatawag na non-target organisms. So, kapag non-target organisms, for example, ano ba? For example, birds or anything ganyan. So, they cannot be disturbed by biopesticides, unlike the disturbance that can be brought by chemical pesticides. Kasi kapag chemical pesticides, syempre sabi ko nga, strong yun. So, some fumes or some particles ng ating mga chemical pesticide might be harmful not only for the pests but even non-target organisms. Sabi ko nga, isa to sa mga issues that is being tackled in our law subject sa agriculture. So meron kaming para mga cases doon na pinag-aaralan. Tapos isa sa mga isa sa mga cases, one of the cases that we studied for that law subject ay anong tawag dito, yung case ng mga banana farmers sa Mindanao. May mga banana farmers tapos maraming tao sa paligid nila. Like meron talagang community sa paligid nila. So, kapag they are spraying pesticides, they are spraying fungicide, naapektuhan din yung mga tao sa paligid. So, yung mga tao sa paligid, nag-file sila ng kaso against the farmers. Parang ganun. So, ayun. Ayun yung another disadvantage ng chemical pesticide, which is an advantage kapag biopesticide kasi hindi siya makakaapekto ng sobra sa mga uh, other non-target organisms. Ayun. So the following are aim of integrated pest management except A. Reduce the use of synthetic organic ano lang, synthetic pesticides. B. Ensure consumers a supply of high quality, safe, and economical foods and other agricultural products. C. Grow crops that are environmentally sound. Or letter D. Grow crops that pose risk to human health. So in some choices like this, you can tell the identify the correct answer by looking at the different verbs. Ayan, so verb. So, una, reduce the use. So, that is an aim of integrated pest management na paggamit ng synthetic pesticides. Synthetic pesticides ang dapat yun. Yan. Next is ensure consumers a supply of high quality, safe, and economical foods and other agricultural products. So that is also an aim. So C, grow crops that are environmentally sound. That is also an aim of integrated pest management. Yung D, pose risk to human health. So that will not be an aim of integrated pest management. So, kanina nga yung sinabi kong case sa banana farmers sa Mindanao, parang ayun yung iniiwasan ng integrated pest management na makaapekto ng yung pest management sa human health. So, dito, ayun ay hindi aim or hindi ito goal ng integrated pest management. Kapag sinabi natin integrated pest management, di ba kanina nagsabi ako ng mga different control methods? For example, biological control, chemical control, mechanical control, physical control. If you have taken note kanina about those control methods, kapag sinabi natin integrated pest management, you are employing two to three or more pa na mga pest control methods. So, hindi lang siya chemical or ayun actually yung iniiwasan. So, ano siya, pwedeng merong biological, merong biotechnological, merong cultural. So, that is integrated pest management. You are doing all of those at once to limit yung chemical input sa isang farm. Okay, so number 29. So, which bacterial disease of swine causes abortion and infection of the reproductive organs in the male, resulting to sterility? So, these are technical terms or objective terms that you need to know. So, I hope that you are taking note of these diseases, pati yung mga kaninang na-discuss. So, this is a case naman sa swine. So, kanina we've discussed, I think sa chicken, tapos sa cattle yata. Ayan. So, sa swine, or yung baboy, this is brucellosis. So, ang brucellosis is caused by a bacterial causative agent. Ayan. So, ang nangyayari ay